Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. We're your hosts, Kathy and Amaris, and welcome to another episode to the Moms. Today, we'll be talking about the pros and cons of being a stay-at-home mom and a working mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know Kathy doesn't have experience being a working mom,
Right.
but I do. So, it's going to be based off of my perspective.
Yeah. This is going to be like very conversational. Just talking about our experience. Yeah. So we're excited to dive in.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the working mom.
Okay.
Because I feel like with the stay-at-home mom, we have like so much.
There's so much. Yeah.
So I know you've experienced working or being a working mom for a little while when you had Thane. So do you want to talk about some of your pros and cons with that?
Yeah. So I want to say, I was a working mom for a year and a half. I did both working from home and working out
in an office. Okay.
Yeah. So the pros of being a working mom, consistent breaks from being a mom. So I knew Monday through Friday I had to be at work by 8, from like 8
Jesus,
to 5:30.
8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I had to be in the office at 8 a.m.
That's a long schedule.
That's a long 8. Yeah, so I would
8 to
I would have
5:30.
to
That's
leave
long.
here technically by like 7:45 to get there by like 8 o'clock. So by 7:45 to by the time I got home was like 5:30. It was a break. I was able to listen to music, hear my own thoughts. So when I came home, I was like up and ready to like take over and be a mom. Now, I didn't have to cook because your aunt was living here, so I didn't have to cook dinner.
Oh, that's nice.
So it was nice just to come home, take over the baby, let her finish cooking, or dinner is ready. I would quickly eat and like take over. So that was nice, just feeling like I was more than just a mom. But I also didn't like the place I was working at, so like it just didn't really feel like a break sometimes. And another point of being a working mom, like I had an identity, like I had people relying on me, not just my child. I had other people coming into me with their problems and just feeling so great helping them out.
You felt like important, and
I felt so important,
valued,
I felt needed, valued. You know, people appreciated the time that I was giving them, and not like my time at home wasn't appreciated, but
it's just different.
It's just different. You know, being in the HR environment, like you're constantly helping people, so like that felt.
And they're nice. They're not seeing you as a mom.
No.
Whereas at home, your identity is a mom. Right.
Mom,
but in the workplace,
wife.
Yeah, exactly.
So that felt nice. And then along with that, having adult interaction. So I was engaging with adults and not talking about baby poop or baby vomits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It was just nice just having those conversations. And also just feeling like I had a purpose in life. So my purpose was helping people out. I generally do love helping people. And I think that's why me being in HR works so well, because employees are constantly needing your help for something. Also, when you're working, you're also gaining personal growth. Not only are you building confidence, you're building on skills and learning new skills. But there's that whole intellectual stimulation of your brain that, if I'm being honest, you don't get as a stay-at-home mom.
You know? Yeah.
So I feel like that's the only thing I have of being a working mom. I wish I was in an environment that I truly...
It might have been a little bit different, right? The experience, if it was less toxic.
If it wasn't so toxic and so political and just filled with like drama, I think I would have a different opinion. Like I would have more to look forward to, but like once I became a mom, I was like, I do not want to work here. I do not want to work here, but the pandemic hit.
I totally get it. I'm genuinely curious if any of our listeners, if you're a working mom and you're someone who really enjoys, their job, whatever it may be, let us know what your experience is like. Let us know how you like it, because I'm really curious.
Same.
to know, because I don't have that experience, so I have no idea what that's like. I only know being a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I have friends who are working moms, and as busy as they are with their job,
yeah,
they love it. They love
I do
going to
too.
work, you
Yeah,
know.
and
So I know there's a company out there for me, but
but the question is, do you want to go back to work? Because that's another whole
yeah,
conversation, you know?
right, right. Do I want to go back to work? I don't know.
It's tough. I know. I feel like I go through this at least once a week. I'm logging into LinkedIn and I'm like, but
This job seems interesting.
yeah, but you know what? Like the more I think about it and the more I see where I'm at with my life, it makes sense for me to be a stay-at-home mom right now.
Right.
I want to be here for Grayson, and that at the end of the day, like that's what's really important to me.
Important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. And that's how I feel. And I'm glad Abraham feels the same way too, because there are times I'm like, you need to tell me if I need to go back to work, if
I
you know
tell Blue
our
all the time.
finances are needed. He's like, no. He's like, I need you home dealing with the kids, dealing with things,
That's great.
appointments and therapies and everything.
That's a really good point, because I'm in a few Facebook groups and I've come across moms who you know, they have made the decision to become a stay-at-home mom, but maybe their partner may not be so much on board with it, and it's more like like okay, like I guess like we can make it work. It's not like like a mutual decision, you know?
Right. Right. And I'm so glad I have his support, because
Yeah.
just like you, I don't ask him once a week, but I feel like I ask him like once a month. Like, do you need me to go? Do you need me to go? I found a job. And he's like, if you want to apply, that's on you. But he does tell me, I want you to find a place that you're going to stick to, because you've just been into toxic places that have this, they are either have this facade or they're just stuck in their own ways that they're not looking to change. She's like, you need to step away from those small businesses and go into corporate America. And I'm like, all right. All right.
But do you want to be in corporate America?
I know that's like
it's
another
just so many.
thing.
Yeah.
But see, he's never been into toxic places, and if he has, it's because they're small businesses. But anyways, we'll talk about that in another episode. We're like
we're like going off on a tangent as per usual.
All right,
oh
so
my gosh,
cons of being a working mom.
Yes.
Now I wrote down a lot. The work stress. Now I would bring stress from work home, and that affected my relationship and my motherhood.
Oh yeah,
terribly. Because I would come home and I would vent, I would cry, I would be irritable. It was just not great. And even when I was pregnant too, like I did that as well. And I would never forget, I was like irritated one time, and I told the VP of research and development, I am not wasting my time screening these candidates thinking that they're great and they have so much potential. And when you come across their resume and have a phone screen, they're not it. So therefore, I'll source them for you and I'll give you everything to look at. And you can tell me which ones seem interesting for me to speak with. I kid you not. She literally went and walked away. And then when she did that, I was like, oh, shit, I'm gonna hear this. I never heard it though. But since then, you best believe she didn't ask me. She did what I told her to.
Right.
Because shit, like, I'm not wasting my time, and you're stressing me out because you're so like nitpicky in who you want, which I get. But also, like, she made recruiting miserable for me. If I knew I had to recruit for her, I was like, El Diablo. Like,
El Diablo.
Great.
I cannot imagine having to go through that stress while also being a new mom for the first time.
Yeah. Oh,
like that is insane.
That brings me to my next point of work stress. The lack of understanding from my boss why I wasn't giving my 100% at work.
Yeah.
She's not,
That's terrible.
she's not a mom. So she hears experiences, but she's never gone through it. So I won't ever forget this moment. It was like a month or a month and a weekend of me coming back from leave of absence. And she's like, I know you're, figuring out things, being a mom and all, and that's great, but I need you to give it like 100%. Like I gave you a month grace period to get adjusted back into this life, but now I need you to give me 100%. I have a lot of things for us to do to make things great and blah, blah,
I feel
blah.
like I would have cried. Like with all the added stress of being a new mom, I would have cried. I would have cried.
And I remember thinking, like, Thane wasn't sleeping throughout the night. Abraham and I, we were taking turns. I'm like dead tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. And even though she said it so soft tone and she was very respectful, I was just thinking, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm not sleeping. How can my brain give this job 100%? Like,
it's like a lot of these jobs, and especially in this country, they don't get it. 3 months of maternity leave, it's not enough. Your baby is barely out of the newborn stage.
Right.
They're not sleeping through the night still.
No.
Like, that's hard. And I'm sure you're still healing physically, emotionally.
Physically, I'm still
3 months. Healing. What is 3 months?
3 months is nothing.
It's nothing.
And like, I don't think, did I take the full three months? I can't remember. Maybe I did. I was out July, August. No, I was only out for like 2.5 months.
Really?
2.5 months, yeah, because
so he was still a newborn.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the shit that I had to go through being at home during leave of absence, then to coming back here, I was like, what the hell? So from then, that's when things I feel like took a turn for like Abe and I, because I remember coming home that day and I was like, I need sleep. Like, I'm not performing the way I need to perform at work because I'm tired. Like, I need you to take on nights.
I can't even
imagine. So
that's
what he did. So Abraham took on the nights, and now he's going to work tired as shit, but like, his boss knows because his boss has like kids. Everyone in the office like knew. So I did feel bad that certain conversations between my boss and I really affected everything that happened at home.
Right.
So when the pandemic hit, I was looking for jobs. Like, I'm just gonna flat out say that I was looking for other jobs, and then I realized while I was scheduling interviews, I was like, no, I need to be home. I need to be home and be with my family. Abraham was also starting another job that equal the pay that I was like getting with his new increase. And I was like, what's the point of me continuing working if I'm not happy? Like, I'm not happy, and this work stress is not.
And this should be like one of the happiest times of your life. Like, you're a new mom, you have this amazing baby. You should you want to feel happy, you want to feel present, but how can you do that when you're stuck in this toxic work environment?
Yes. And
I can't imagine.
I know she didn't understand when I mean, she told me she did, but I don't really think she did. She understood why I was resigning, but I remember people like her colleagues like coming up to me saying like, I completely understand. Like, it is hard. It is stressful. This isn't the place where you need to be at. So a lot of people were like, I will give you a recommendation whenever you go back to work because you worked phenomenal with me. So that, that made me feel good, but it bothered me for a long time that like my boss was just like, whatever. So
girl, I was, like I said, I wasn't a working mom, but I totally understand the stress of working in a very toxic environment. When exactly did you quit your job? What month and year?
So July 2020, I put in my 4 weeks resignation. Then the plan was for me to work from home until we find my replacement. Now there was a girl that seemed very qualified for the job. So my boss was like, oh, I think you'll be only working from home for like a month. a month later came and it was like, we don't like that person. Let's continue the search. I'm like,
so it just kept dragging.
So it kept dragging until my pettiness. I found out that raises and bonuses were given, but they made some sort of decision where only like the production staff was going to get a raise or bonus. I forget like the nitty-gritty details, but pretty much anyone who worked from home in the pandemic, they weren't getting anything. So I was pissed because I was like, are you kidding me? Because I was working throughout
you're an essential worker.
You know? And you did not allow me to work from home. You're only allowing me to work from home now because it benefits you. So I was pissed. I would be pissed when I found that out. So I wrote her an email and I was like, effective Friday is my last day. Good. She was like, she's like,
you could do whatever you want.
I also knew that she was like out of office, I think, for 2 or 3 days. So the day that I sent it, she was only in office for like 3 days. She's like, you need to at least give me like X amount of time. I'm like, nope. How would you like me to return my key fob and this and that? She's like, you can mail it. Please don't come to the office. Never mail that shit. Toss it in the trash.
Wow.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm pregnant, sick as shit, working from home to benefit you to find my replacement, yet you are being extremely picky who replaces me. You need the goddamn help. And yet you're going to pull some shit that like office workers who work from home, they weren't going to get anything. I was like, you know what?
That's ridiculous.
Like, no, it's wrong.
That's ridiculous.
It was so wrong, but whatever.
Yeah. So we actually quit our jobs kind of around the same time because I resigned October. So just a few months after you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no. Well, my very, very, very last day was October 16th of 2020. Like that was like my very last day.
Actually, that's funny. Mine was actually around the time. It was like maybe between October 11th and the 14th, I want to say. So wow.
Yeah.
Exactly the same time. I
wasn't playing games. I was like, and I quit too. Like, I think a month after, I was like, I really have to quit in September. Like, I can't do this. It's like impacting Abe's job. And she was like, okay, why don't we decrease your hours to 2 hours a day? And I was like,
what is that gonna
do? All right, fine. Like, it gave me enough time to screen candidates, send her this, and in 2 hours, I was like, all right, done.
Yeah.
So like no, like have some sort of respect for me that I'm doing you a favor.
Exactly.
Like I didn't need to continue to work, but I worked up until I paid my credit card debt. And once my credit card debt was like paid off, which is why Abraham was like, I would rather you continue working until it's paid off, and then once you're done, cut off. That's exactly what I did. So the moment my balance was 0, I was like, effective immediately, peace out.
Yeah, that's great. So good for you, girl.
I was like, all right, you want to play these games and like use me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. My job, just real quick, I really enjoyed my job, like working as a leasing manager. I loved working with the group that I was in, all my coworkers, but then a new boss came in and it just completely shifted everything. The environment, the energy, everything shifted. And then of course the pandemic came. So I felt like I was in a very toxic place. I told you, I think I was getting sick from being so stressed out. Like that's how stressed out I was. I would get so much anxiety going into work every single day. And I lived at my job. So imagine how stressful that was because I carried my job 24/7. I was a leasing manager. So a lot of things, anything that went wrong in the building with residents, whatever, it like fell on me. And that was really hard. I had just bought a house. When did we close? Sometime in the summer of 2020, we closed. And I got to a point where I just felt like it was very toxic and I could not handle the stress anymore. But Blue was the one who encouraged me to quit. He's like, you're getting sick. Like, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
So I resigned and honestly, I've never looked back.
Dang. See, I wish I had better relationships with my colleagues, but they didn't like each other. They talked smack about each other. They
It's
didn't
tough.
like my boss, and I'm just like, this is toxic. I can't
And
work
it's
in a
not always
place
the
where
case. Yeah, it's not always the case.
right.
I consider myself very lucky at the time. My company, there's so many buildings in my state, throughout the country, and I don't think I've seen like a better group than the group that I was
Oh
in. We were all
wow.
around the same age. We were
Okay.
all either engaged or married. It just worked out. It was a really
Mhm.
good, relationship that we all had. That's very rare.
That's good. That's so
Yeah.
good, but not in my place. I was like, I can't. I'm like, this is not. I think I would have stuck it through if I liked. If everyone likes each other or
Of
can be
course,
civil with
yeah.
each other, then cool. But like when you're
But
openly
everything
just
was
talking about each other, it's like, no, I'm in HR. Like I don't need to be hearing
right.
some of this like nonsense. So very toxic.
All right. Let's move past
Yeah,
this because
moving on. So household responsibilities, like I had to do that
oh
like
yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays, so that's like even more less
Mm,
time that I'm spending with my kid. So I come home from
yeah.
work, put my child to sleep, and then it's like the weekends I need to concentrate on like doing laundry and stuff. Like it just sucked. It just
How
sucked
do
so
working
bad.
moms do it? Like I just can't I
I
don't
don't
know. I
know.
can't imagine how do you do it because both roles are very hard, right? When you're a stay-at-home
Hmm.
mom, the work is 24/7. You're doing everything. But
Yeah.
then as a working mom, it's also hard because yes, you get that break during the day where you're working, but then
Hmm.
what happens? Okay, you pick up your child from daycare, you put them to you're basically about to put them to bed, right? It's like dinner, bed.
Right.
So you're not getting to spend much time with them. And then the weekend comes and it's like that you got to do all the chores, you got to do all the things, you got to do the activities. It's
Hmm.
that's a lot.
And like cooking, like I thankfully
And
have my
cooking.
mother-in-law like cooking,
Cooking.
but I remember your mother-in-law was saying like I didn't learn how to cook healthy until the boys were like old,
Yeah, that is true.
because she said she's like it was whatever I could get
Take out all the time. I
done
remember.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like it was whatever I can
Yeah.
get done quick.
Yeah,
Quick.
because she was a working mom too.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just sad like you have less time with your son,
Mm-hmm.
and I know there's some moms that they're able to like work around their schedule, and I think that's great, but for the career that
Yeah.
I chose to be in, I don't have that luxury.
Oh yeah,
Like
I didn't have
I
that. I
don't.
worked I was in corporate, like, it's just
Yeah.
different. It's different. You don't
Hmm.
get that flexibility. Um,
Right. Now switching gears, when I wasn't working home from
mhm.
mom, that was difficult because there was constant interruptions. I felt guilty because while my son was watching TV and I'm trying to get like 2 hours in of like
Mm,
sourcing resumes and making phone calls, I felt
yeah.
so guilty because it's like the TV has to be on in order for you just to give me some time to get whatever it is I have to get done.
It's
And
hard
then,
all around. It's hard
yeah,
all around. And
and
even if you're, as
no,
us
no, no.
stay-at-home moms, I know, we're trying to do things from home, right? Like our podcast. Like even that in itself is
Hmm.
sometimes
Hmm.
hard to do. The podcast is
Yeah,
not just the podcast. There's a whole behind the scenes.
right.
There's social media, there's editing, and doing that, it is a job,
Yeah,
where
it is a job.
it is a job. And just finding the ways and the time to do it with these kids is very challenging.
It's so
Doing
challenging. And
anything, yeah.
like, luckily for us with all the podcasting, like, we could try to do it during nap times. We can try
Oh
to
yeah.
do it while they're sleeping at nighttime or like
Mm-hmm.
quickly in the morning. There's that flexibility.
Yeah.
There's no
There's
flexibility working a 9 to 5 job.
mm-mm.
That you got to get things done 9 to 5. And there were times where I will like quickly like jump in and like do something like real quick, and I'm not even clocked in because I'm just like
Yeah,
I can just
wow.
quickly get this done,
Oh,
you know. So
yeah.
like it was there's no flexibility. Um, I remember there was this one time when I came back from leave of absence.
Mm-hmm.
Shane had torticollis. Do you know what that is?
I think is
So
it like colic or something or
no, no, no. So
no?
it's
Oh.
like when the baby is like laying on their backs for too long and their head gets like flat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
colic.
Yeah,
So
that's why
same.
you got to do the tummy time and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got that, and we had to take him to
Aw.
PT. I purposely scheduled it during my lunchtime, and when I was telling my boss, I'm like, hey, I'm like leaving now to
No.
to this thing, and she was like, well, what time you're going to be back? I think I said I was going to be back like 1:30
Yeah.
or 1:15, but that I was leaving at like 11:50. It was something like, it wasn't like a straight lunch hour. I think I had like 30 minutes extra.
Mm-hmm.
I had to use 2 hours of PTO in order for me to cover like a 30-minute difference. 30 minutes that I could have done after work. And she made me take 2 hours of PTO. So I did it one time, and I told Abraham, I cannot go to his appointments. You're gonna have to pick up your mom
Is that
from
even like
home.
legal? Is that legal? Or I don't know.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it is. So guess what? So that day I took 2 hours of PTO, took my time, and best believe I left at 4:59 that day. Because I'm like,
Good.
this is nonsense. Like, it's a 30-minute difference that
Wow.
I could have just made up. And I remember telling to Abe, and he's like, that's ridiculous. That is simply ridiculous. And his job was fine.
Mm-hmm.
His job was fine with it because it was, again, a 30-minute difference that he can make up at the end of the day. So from then, I knew, I was like, this girl's not going to be supportive with me being a mom or whatever the case is. So
fuck that. Well, I'm so glad that you left.
Same.
Let's put it behind us.
Put it behind us. And I can't really talk too much about it because she's like well known in the HR world. Like well known. So yeah, that's all I have as a working mom. I know there's some moms, they have to work. And I think that's great. I think if they have that willpower and they love their job, more power to you. Like,
I know.
I think it's amazing that there are moms out there that can like kill it at their job and kill it as a mom and a wife. It's like, you go, girl.
I have a friend. No, yeah, I have a friend, and she doesn't really have to work. Her husband has told her, like, you don't have to work. No, she loves her job.
That's good.
And she's killing it as a mom. She's like, no, I need that time to myself. I need to make my own money. I need to have that independence. It keeps me sane.
Right.
She's like, I could be a stay-at-home mom, but I don't want to. That's too fucking hard. That's what she told. She's like, that's way too fucking hard. I can't do it. She's like, I can't do it. So I think it is really cool. Yeah, like the moms that are just able to do it all. That's amazing.
Yeah. Let's go on and talk about pros and cons being a stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom. Yeah, we have a lot to say. Let's see if we can cover as much as we can in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the pros first?
Yeah.
Yeah. So never missing a milestone. That's for sure. It's nice to see all like the growth and just everything, never missing anything. I think that's like one of the best parts.
The best parts. Yeah, because you see, it's like in our last episode, you need to nurture your child. And once they finally do it, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not missing this moment. I've missed milestones with Thane. I've missed his first roll, his first baths, a lot of firsts with him, and that was not easy being a stay-at-home mom and watching, your aunt do everything with him. I wasn't like jealous or anything like that, but I was genuinely very sad. I'm like, I can feel like the pit in my heart.
I feel it for you right now.
It was so sad. And like, I love that she sent me videos like throughout the day. Like, those did help.
Yeah. But did you wish you were there?
I wish I was there because I was missing everything. So with Cyrilla being a stay-at-home mom, I got to see everything, and I'm so happy that I could cry, but I'm not gonna cry.
I know, I'm tearing up already. Fuck.
And then going along with never missing a milestone, like you're always with them. You're playing with them, teaching them independence. You can run errands with them. And I love going grocery shopping with Cyrilla because she's always going, hi, hello.
What age did you start doing that with her? Because I can't do that shit with Grayson right now. I took him to Whole Foods yesterday. Let me tell you.
Bad.
Yes, bitch, it was bad. I you know that little trike that we brought to the pumpkin patch? So we love that thing. He does really well with it, but I took him to Whole Foods yesterday with my mom, and he wanted to get out of it. So I'm like, okay, maybe he'll do okay if I let him walk, but like holding my hand. No, he was like running around the store. I was like, oh my God, this is my child. This is my child. Doesn't want me to hold his hand. He's just running around. He's running, saying hi to everyone. He's so great.
I think I took her like 1.5 years old. I think that's when I felt comfortable taking her out, but I always put them in the shopping seat. That's the only way. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drive you around, beep beep, and I'll like put them inside. And she does fine. I'll give her like something. I'm like, can you put it in the cart? In the car, and like I'm like working on like speech and like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that with Grace, and I did try that at Home Goods once, but he was okay for the most part.
Yeah, it's also like Home Goods, so it's like what's there for at least groceries. It's like, oh,
that is true.
You want cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a banana, and then like
you'll get excited.
Put it in the bag. Yeah, so I feel like grocery shopping is better than me going to home Goods and like Marshalls. I did that with Cirilla. That girl's like, I want that. No, we're all done. I don't like outfit. And I'm like, but I like it. No like. Put away. And I'm
That's
like,
so funny.
Oh, no. And then I'll come out with like new toys, and Abe's like, what is this? I'm like, she wanted it and I couldn't say no. He's like, you couldn't say no? Like, she doesn't need another stuffed animal. I was like, yeah, but it was $5, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Calm down. But I love that. Like, just running errands with them is so great. And then we're also bonding, too. You know?
Yes. Yeah. I love, I did love, like, the baby stage when they're, like, trying to figure out how to roll and the tummy time. And I really, really love that stage, because I feel like a lot of things that he would do, it's like things that I would teach him or like explain to him, and then when he would do them, oh my God, it would make my heart melt. Like, oh man, like he really did that, you know?
Like, he did
that. Like the first time he signed for milk, or oh my God, it's like, wow, like it warms my heart. I'm like, man, like I really taught him that, and he does it. It's so cool.
That's exactly how I feel like on a daily basis when I hear things. Today we've been working on the word oatmeal, so I'm like, what do you want for breakfast? Do you want eggs or oatmeal? And before he'll go and I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm like, oh, you mean you want oatmeal? So today he was like, I want oat.
Oh, meal. Cute.
And I'm like, yes, oatmeal. Good job. And I was like so happy. So it's just nice.
It is really cool. So yeah, that was never missing a milestone. We can go on and on about that.
I know.
And then also going in hand with playing with them, teaching them independence, the running the errands. I know we wrote down here not worrying too much about appearance.
Right.
Let's elaborate on that.
And I'm in sweats.
Yeah, you know? And we're put together, kind of. We don't have to worry about putting slacks and blouse every single day for work. Yeah,
need to make sure my face looks nice, my frizz is tamed, a wrinkle in my shirt. Like I don't have to.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I do love that.
I love it. I don't have to worry about an outfit. That I wear these slacks or this blazer this week already.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Yeah, no.
I don't have to worry about that.
Bonding.
I feel like that goes like without telling, like the whole bonding.
It's amazing.
So much. It's great. Like I've said in previous episodes, I had the urgency to be a stay-at-home mom to bond with Dane because I wasn't getting that. I wasn't bonding with him.
You didn't feel connected to him.
I did not feel connected because there wasn't enough bonding time. It just wasn't.
Reduce childcare costs. Oh yeah, 1,000%.
1,000. I was just yesterday. I was looking at daycare costs because I told Abraham, I was like, I really think when she's 3, we should put her in a daycare program. He's like, and who's paying for that? while you're not working, I should say. And I was like, I don't think it's like that expensive. And I looked.
No, it is.
It's
Everything has gone up
expensive.
in price. Everything, because of the inflation. Everything is so expensive.
So expensive. So I was like, all right, but like the school that we have here where we live, that's lottery based. So like she may not go in there.
Right.
And if she doesn't, I'm like, we're gonna have to look at someplace else. So we were looking, and it's like about $1,000 more than the preschool that we would like for her to go to. But he's like, that's doable. It's like a little over 3,000 for the year. The school is just under 3,000. So he's like, that's okay. But to do 1,000 a month, he's like, I can't do that. He's like, you would have to go back to work. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
No, we were talking about it actually last night. I asked, well, I was like, when do you think we should put, I was going to say Thane, Grayson is some sort of like activity or something. And I would love to, maybe not now, maybe once he turns 2, I would love to put him in like some kind of Montessori school. It's like twice a week or something like that, you know, just so he can socialize. And I've heard great things about Montessori. It like teaches them independence, and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Even you would think like 3-day programs or 2-day programs are cheaper. They're not. They're just as as expensive.
I couldn't. Yeah.
So I was like, dang.
Yeah. And then personal satisfaction. What do we mean by that?
So
I forgot.
I think that what we were saying, it kind of goes along with meeting milestones and like always spending time with them.
Oh,
like, when we teach them something,
makes us feel
good. And they like do it. It makes us feel good. I know I feel satisfied every time the kids do something, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Blue takes a lot of pride in that. Like every time he like brags about it, like look what I taught him today. Look what I taught him today. It's so cute. So he just started saying no.
Good, but
it's funny. Yeah. I haven't heard him say it though.
Okay.
I haven't heard him say it, but according to Blue, he says it all the time. Like he was saying it to Joelle the other day. He was like, no.
Oh, that's so cute.
Reduce commute.
Well, I know you didn't really have like a commute, but like
I just walked down the stairs.
That sucks so much. Oh my gosh, the commute.
What? Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I can't imagine, especially if you live in the state that we live in. Just a lot of traffic and.
Yeah, I would even take the back roads just to like.
I could, yeah.
Not be in traffic, but after work, forget about it. It should take me 15 minutes from work to home, but it took me like a whole 30 minutes, and it was because of traffic. So I don't miss that. And I know Abraham does not miss commuting to work either.
Yeah, I mean, Blue is like hit or miss because he works from home for the most part, but he also travels for work. Right. So there are times that he has to hop on a plane and go for like a day or two somewhere random, like Pittsburgh or Ohio or I don't know, wherever the fuck he goes, California sometimes. The next one kind of ties in with the reduced commute. How, with both of us, we were both able to get rid of our cars. We're a 1-car household, and I know you guys are as well.
Yeah, so we needed, when I was pregnant with Cirilla, it came out of like nowhere. Abraham was like, we need to get rid of our cars and get like a big family car, but not a minivan.
So we have a big car too.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice. It's great having like one car payment. You know, let's see. Controlling your child's upbringing.
Yeah.
Now, yes. How do I say this without being so insulting and rude?
Be insulting and rude.
So there were certain things I didn't want happening with Thane. Like I did not want him to watch screen time at all, you know, but unfortunately it happened sooner than expected, and from there it's just whatever it is. I mean, we talked about this in the last episode, so it's kind of just like it is what it is. There's no correlation to like developmental delays or anything like that.
But it is really hard. So like for example, Grayson's he's in his tantrum era. Okay. This week has been really, really difficult. He's just screaming all the time. He's not happy. He's going through some kind of developmental leap or something. But we cut out screen time for 3 days, and I saw a dramatic I lost my train of thought. Yeah, decrease in the tantrums. And I took him to my mom's yesterday. And what does she do?
TV on.
Yes. And it's like, great. Like the last 3 days are basically out the window.
Yeah.
And this morning, right before getting on the podcast, he would not stop screaming. I think I texted you, like, if you hear Grayson in the background, like, don't mind him. I told Blue, I was like, just put Blue's Clues on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, like, you're just going to hear a screaming child in the background in this episode. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot I can control, like, what my children, like, eat.
Yeah, that's the good thing about, you can control a lot of, the cooking, even like what, if they do watch screen time, like what they do watch on TV,
right.
You can control that.
Right. Or I can do gentle parenting without someone telling me, no, you need to put them into a timeout. You need to take their toys away. You need to take this away. And it's just like, no.
You do things the way you want it.
It's okay that they can cry and scream at certain times. So it's, just being able to have that control.
Yeah, I do like that. And then household management. So this goes as far as like the cooking, cleaning, just overall managing the household.
Yeah, nothing gets done without. Actually, nothing gets planned without me knowing. Like, it goes through me first.
Right. I cannot imagine if I was a working mom, like outside of the house. I cannot imagine doing the household management. Yeah. Like that's really hard. How do you?
It's so hard. Even when Abraham and I didn't have kids, like, our house was still messy because we worked 9 to 5, and sometimes we worked a little bit over. By the time we came home, he was still at work, and I'm trying to get dinner done. And then by the time we eat, it's like, all right, we need time for ourselves. We need time with each other. Now we got to go to bed. Everything is still in the kitchen sink because guess what? We still need sleep. We got to wake up early and everything, so.
It's hard. Do you have this is like really random, but I'm curious to know if you have a cleaning schedule. I know we talked about this in a previous episode.
I used to clean like every Friday night. Now I'm like, I'm going to clean whenever I see time.
Or do you, okay. So you don't do like Tuesdays and Fridays, we do laundry. Okay, no. Me either. Okay. I feel better about myself. Okay.
The one thing I will say, we make sure every night the kitchen is cleared because that's very important.
Yeah, us too.
Wherever the kids eat, that is swept and wiped down. That's it.
Yeah, okay. Me too. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like genuinely curious because like I see other moms and they have like these like cleaning schedules. Like, okay, Mondays is so and so we do this laundry, like sheets, and then this and then that. And I'm like,
I tried doing that and it was very overwhelming because guess what? Mondays, Tuesdays, speech. Now we have OT Wednesday morning. Sometimes BCBA is coming Thursday. So by the time Friday comes, I'm tired.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, as a stay-at-home mom, sometimes your schedule is not so structured because things come in the mix. That naps don't happen. Sometimes they nap longer than usual. It's like a lot of things can happen.
Right. So it's more like whenever you're down, and I know you're going to be down for a while, let me quickly get things done.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool.
So obviously we already talked about this, but reduce stress from the working life because now you're just mom
focusing on
creating your own schedule. So I feel like we talked about this just like a little bit. We can just like get up and go. But I don't have to request time off from work and then for it to get denied. And then I'm like stuck thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Right. You're on your own time. You're not on a time crunch.
Right.
And then we talked about this before, but our husbands work from home. So that's very helpful too. It'd be really weird. Like if Blue had to go to an office setting every day, 9 to 5 and come home, like, that would be like a huge transition if that were to happen. I feel like, 'cause I'm so used to him being home.
Right. Yeah. So I'm
And
glad Ape has like the flexibility just
yeah,
same.
And then even though Blue works so much, like there are times that he can just pop downstairs, like see how we're doing. Sometimes he'll take Grayson for 30 minutes so I can do something. Like it's nice to have that.
We can quickly go over like developing hobbies. Like I took up cooking. I know you started your sourdough journey, and together we made this podcast.
Yes, yeah. The cooking is huge. So I did more of the like try new recipes and stuff when Grayson was a baby. I feel like it was easier because I could just put him in the bouncer in the kitchen, and it was easier to just focus on trying new recipes. I love doing things from scratch. Yeah. So like, let's say I have like this amazing dish at a restaurant or dessert. Like I challenge myself to try to make that at home. Okay. And I know you try to do that too when you were pregnant with Cirilla, right? Yeah, I'm huge on that. I've made bagels from scratch. I made sourdough muffins. I've done so many things, and I love doing that. But it is a little bit harder now with a toddler, I will say.
Yeah. It'll definitely get easier once they're more focused on like playing with toys. You'll get back to that. Oh, I can like cook better. Because I at one point reached a little pit where I couldn't get nothing done, and like I'm at food the pit. Was just like bleh. But once she got out of that phase and she was able to like play more and keep herself busy, I'm like, yes, cooking is coming out great.
Okay. I'm definitely in the pit right now. Yeah. But yeah, I also started making sourdough bread from scratch, and then we started this podcast, so it's been great.
All right, the last one that I have is being available for drop off and like pickup times for Thane school. The amount of times that I see grandparents pick up their kids, I'm like sad. Because I wouldn't want that for my kid. Like, who would be picking up Thane at 3:30 p.m.? Yeah. Who? Tell me who. Yeah. If I was a working mom and your aunt doesn't get out until I think 3:30.
I didn't even think about that. Job. Same here. I don't have anybody that can like just step in and do that. And if, kind of,
sure, Abraham's home, so he can probably stop and like pick up, which most work from home jobs, they like understand that because they understand the value as people being parents. Yeah. But my job, I would have to probably work something out with them in order to meet pickup time. But for drop off, then who's dropping off my kid?
It's really hard. I have a friend, and she doesn't have a lot of people close by, and she works in the city, and sometimes she gets home and she can't. Her daughter's in pre-K 4, right? So is that what it's called?
I think so.
Like yeah. Because she's 4 years old.
So yeah, PK 3, yeah.
Whatever. And sometimes like the bus is late or like the train, and she can't make it at the certain time. And I asked her, I was like, so what do you do? She's like, aftercare. Yeah, but that's extra money though.
That's extra money because aftercare is not free, and there's some schools they don't do aftercare, or there's some schools that they don't do before care. So it's like these parents have to figure out who's going to drop off their kid and like pick them up and stuff like that. And I know that was one thing I did not want. I was like, when he starts school, our lives are going to change because I need to be there for pickups and drop off. I'm mom. Like same. I'm gonna do. Yeah. I'm gonna. Do
that. 100%.
I think that's all. We're done with our pros list.
We're done with. Actually, there's one more. I'll try to make this quick. So I think I told you yesterday, I was having this conversation with 2 of my friends, and we kind of came up on the topic of like losing ourselves in motherhood, right? Okay. And one of them asked, do you feel like once you became a mom, like do you feel like you're trying to rediscover yourself again, or like you've lost yourself? And my initial thought was, oh yeah, like 1,000%. That question for some reason, like it stuck with me for like a week. And the more I thought about it, yes, I could understand how you can lose yourself in motherhood. I especially if you've gone through like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. I know I went through a phase where I was just very lost. I didn't really know who I was anymore. But now, again, just thinking about this question, I'm like, yeah, it's changed me, but I feel like for the better. Yeah. I feel I definitely feel like I'm a happier person now.
Okay.
I like the person that I am now. I find that I'm funnier. I feel like I'm more interesting. I don't know. I have this creative side of me now, with the podcast, and I'm doing things that I never used to do before. I don't know. And I think for one, Grayson is my motivation. So I feel like he makes me want to be a better person. He makes me want to do all these things. I've been juicing every single morning. I've been eating healthier. And yeah, it's for me, but it's like also for him because I want to be this amazing mom. And I don't know. We can
Yeah.
go on a tangent about it, but do you
Right.
get what I'm saying?
No, I do. And I totally agree because I've always wanted to content create for years. I'm
Me
talking
too.
about
Yeah.
like college years. Like I wanted to content create, but I was so shy.
Me
I
too.
didn't have like the confidence. And when I became a stay-at-home mom, I was like, oh, I should like content create. Like I definitely want to do it. But I was so shy and kind of so reserved. It wasn't until I think I had to talk to so many people about Thane being autistic and all of his delays that opened me up. Like, I don't know. I want to say it was like I cracked a coconut shell and all these amazing things started happening. Like, I know for some people receiving a diagnosis is so scary, but for me, it was almost such a blessing because not only am I learning a new side of his thoughts and his beings, but I'm understanding other things and like myself, and I was just able to do some sort of growth, some personal growth that I've never had before because I don't have anyone telling me what to do, how to be. I didn't have that work stress. I literally just had myself and my thoughts. So motherhood should change a person. It really should change a person for the better. That's what I'm trying to like get at.
Yeah.
My ways of thinking, my ways of responding to things are so different because
that's
it's
how
like,
I feel too.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like you said something rude to me. I'm going to keep my mouth shut because that's just how you are. And I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to say, well, you're wrong because of X, Y, and Z. I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
You kind of, it's like you become more empathetic.
Yes.
That's what it is. You kind of learn how to like put yourself in people's shoes, and it's all about perspective, right? And it's just, it's so interesting. And like, like I said, that question has just stuck with me, and it's made me, I still think about it because it kind of puts me in place a little bit. It's like, I think about all the good I've done and all like the growth, like you said.
Right. It almost like validates your position. In a sense. Yeah. I feel like we could probably go on about that topic.
I know. And we will, I think the next episode we said we were going to do something like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about something similar to that.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So
moving on to the cons of being a stay-at-home mom.
24/7 job. You never get to clock out.
Never.
There's no such thing as PTO days or holidays. Okay.
Okay. If you want to go to the bathroom, that's great. But guess what? Your child's probably going to be going in there with you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough. Like Cirilla will be right in front of me, and I'm like, I'm pooping. Oh, mommy's pooping. Great job. Go wipe. And I'm like, I'm still pooping. I'm like, you gotta go. And then there was one time, not to put myself on blast, she had her sweatshirt like this, and then she's like, Mom's pooping. It's like over her nose, and I was like, so it stinks, cute. Right? You gotta go. She's like, no. And then she slams the door, and I'm like, Abraham, I'm gonna hotbox this place. Get her out.
Oh my God. But yeah, like it's just, it never ends. You never really get that break. And even if you do get that break, like if you're out of the house on your own, you carry the mental load.
Yeah.
There's always the mental load of, okay, dinner, have they taken their nap? Have they done this? It's always here.
Something.
Yep.
Always something. It's never truly a break. And then you rush home because you're like, well, I know the kitchen's a mess and the dishwasher is not put in. Oh, Cirilla can't go to sleep with Abraham for nap time because they think it's playing. So now, so it's just...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So for me, not having enough adult interaction. So I went from having way too much interaction with my job to not having much at all. So I'm like awkward in like places when I see other adults because all I want to talk about is kids. But like not all adults want to talk about kids.
I feel like all moms in general can relate to that.
Yeah.
I definitely relate to the not having adult interaction. I crave that, like, I don't know, like not one-on-one, but just sometimes being in a social setting, you know, and being able to talk about things that aren't, you know, kid related.
Right.
And sometimes when Blue, leaves the house for work, I'll tell him things like, oh, that's like, at least you went out today, or like, that's nice. And he'll be like, but it's work. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to speak to people. He's like, I don't want to speak to those people. I'm like, yeah, but like, they just don't even get it.
They don't get it. I'm the same way.
So for me, going in hand with that, I have to schedule time with friends. This is something that I started doing as of May. And it's like one of my non-negotiables. I have to do it every single month in order to keep my sanity. Like seeing, you know, whether it's meeting a friend for coffee or dinner, like I have to do it. I have to keep those connections, because if not, like, I was in a, like, oh man, after I had Grayson, I was in a really lonely place where I felt like I didn't have any friends or anyone. And that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have I don't meet up with friends too often because it's just hard. Like I could have something planned with Jackie, and then one of our kids get sick. So we're like, okay, this is our backup date. And the backup date, what happened? I was like, remember the time when they got sick? Yeah, now I'm sick.
I know. No, it's hard.
It's so hard.
One of the friends that I do meet up monthly, so she's actually single and has no kids. So it does make it a little bit easier, you know, to be able to schedule that. But yeah. So we've got, the mom guilt whenever we go out. Oh my God.
Mom guilt. I feel like we can go on and on about mom guilt, but all in all, I'm thankful that I have Abraham to tell me, like, you gotta stop feeling guilty.
Blue too,
you gotta start being selfish. Like, I told you to go out for an hour. Go out for an hour.
Blue yells at me. He'll be like, go. Just go take an hour off. Go. I'm like, well, damn.
Abraham does not yell at me, but he'll be like, well, I did tell you can go for an hour and you chose not to go, so that's your own fault. I'd be like, damn. I'm like, talk to me nice.
Yeah. But it's so hard. I feel like I don't know.
It almost eats you alive and like rots your brain out. That's how mom guilt makes me feel.
Yeah. So I went out with my single friend, Bree. Shout out to Bree. Yeah. I went out with her to dinner on Monday, and girl, the mom guilt, it's like I almost regretted going out because I just felt so bad when I came home, and I kept telling Blue, and he's like, but why? Like, did you have a good time? I was like, I had a great time, but I just feel bad. And also because the previous week, like, I went out like 2-3 times. And I told him, I was like, I'm never going out again. Like, I feel guilty. I don't like being away from my family. I don't like it. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't go out too much. But when I do go out, I do feel bad sometimes if I'm like going without the kids. But I do like that there are times Jackie will be like, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Do you want to hang out? And I'm like, yeah, but I'll bring Cirilla. She's like, that's fine. I was expecting to see her anyways. Yeah. So there's times like we'll go out to eat or for breakfast or to the mall. And I like love that because it's like, oh, we're all here shopping together.
Oh my God. Now I wish I lived closer to you.
Because it's great. Like,
jealous.
She'll just pop there. I've seen her newborn like twice. Of course, the baby is sleeping. Yeah. But she'll come over. She'll feed the baby, and then we'll go out to the mall because she has to like return something. And I think our mall is like better, or she just has more errands to do where I live at. So she's like, let's go out. Like, let's get to eat. I'll bring.
That's amazing that she's able to run errands with her newborn. Because let me tell you,
I've never.
I don't know what that's like.
I don't drive more than like 20 minutes with my kids. So I know she was driving 45 minutes to an hour by herself with her kids. I can't do that.
I can't do that. So I told you how I went to see my mom yesterday. So she lives like with traffic, it's like what, 40 minutes? Yeah, Grayson cried the whole time there.
Oh man.
And I was so anxious the whole time, Amaris, like so freaking anxious. I told my mom, you have to come back with me. My dad could pick you up at my house because I wasn't going to do that drive. The drive back was even worse. It was like an hour because rush hour.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're coming with me and you're sitting in the backseat with Grayson.
And did she?
She did.
Oh, that's nice.
She did. Yeah. So I don't know how you mamas do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone needs to give me some tips because I can't do more than 20 minutes.
No, I can't. And I have one friend that tells me, oh, I just tune them out. I'm like, I can't do that.
I can't do that though. I can't tune them out. First off, I have PTSD from when Thane used to be rear seating and he would like projectile vomit and choke on his vomit. So that's why I can't do no more than 20 minutes. Because
Grayson has done that too.
It is.
That's what I'm scared of him vomiting in the car.
Because they cry too much, they work themselves up and then they throw up. Yeah, that happened to Cirilla maybe twice. So I'm 20 minutes tops and that's it.
Yeah. So. Feeling like we're not financially contributing, which leads to feeling not good enough or woman enough. Oof.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest one for me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest con. Yeah. Because I still struggle with that. I mean, like on a daily basis.
Yeah, I no longer struggle with that. I have come to terms that my husband is my sugar daddy and I'm his sugar baby. I love that. Kids. Honestly, once I like switch my brain to like you're my sugar daddy, because like there was a time where we weren't spending equal time together because things were just coming up with work or with school or therapies, whatever the case is, and I was like, I don't see you as my husband, I see you as my sugar daddy, but without the sugar. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's just to say that we don't really spend enough time with each other. So now
here we go with Amaris's wacky brain process.
Listen, he loves me and he gives me all his money.
No, but it's tough because let me tell you about this conversation that we were having the other day. So we were out for lunch, I want to say, and Joel, my stepson, was with us. And I don't know why Joel asked this, but he was like, I don't understand, like, how do your finances work? I'm like, why is this 14-year-old asking me this? I'm like, what do you mean?
That's good that he's thinking about that.
Yeah, it is good. And he's like, I know you guys are married, but what does that mean? Like, Kathy doesn't work, so how does Kathy make money? And then Blue was trying to explain to him, we're married, but what I make, it like we're a team. Yeah. That's the way he described it. The money that I make is ours. It's for the household. And he also explained, I give a certain percentage to Kathy every 2 weeks that he gets paid, whatever. And like it's our money. But he's like, but why? Like, he's like, so does that happen like when you get married? And he was just like, no, not necessarily with all couples. This is just what works for us. And he explained to him too, like, I wouldn't be where I am in life, career-wise, successful, if it weren't for Kathy. Kathy's my backbone. Kathy has made everything happen for me. And he couldn't have explained that better. Yeah. In that moment, because it is true.
It's true.
It is true, especially if you've been with someone for so long. We basically grew up together. We've been together for, how long have we? 12 years? 13 years? I don't even know.
I know you and I are similar. It might be 14 years.
I've lost count.
I've lost
after
count
10
too.
I've lost count, but it's been more than 10 years. But when you've been together for so long and you've grown together as a couple, we were college sweethearts and we went from being broke together and like figuring that out, living in California, like we went through everything together. And I've always pushed Blue. I'm telling you, if it weren't for me, that man would not be where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Because I've always pushed him. I was the one who pushed him to go to California.
That is true. That is true.
So yeah, there's that. That was a little 2 cents there. What?
I'm looking at the next one. Constantly comparing to work. Constantly comparing ourselves to working moms. I used to do that. Now I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to work. So if that desire of me not wanting to work, why should I allow that to bother me? If I don't have the desire to work, why let it bother me?
Yeah, that is true. Like, remember, like, why you have to think about why you became a stay-at-home mom in the first place. Like, think about your why.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it takes time to get to that mental state. And I was speaking to my therapist about this because I see her weekly. Mm-hmm. And she told me the reason you're comparing yourself to other moms is because, one, we live in a society where, especially here in America, where people, they use their work as their identity. Like, they define themselves through their work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So as a stay-at-home mom in public settings, when you're meeting all these other peoples, it can put a lot of pressure on us. You know, I know for one, I've been in a social setting with moms where everyone's going around the table at, you know, what do you do for work? And I freaking hate, like, why does that have to be like the first thing you ask someone when you're getting to know them?
Right.
I don't know if you feel this way, but I hate that. I feel like it's just a conversation filler. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And yeah, going around the table asking, like, what do you do for work? And then having to explain myself, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. It almost makes me feel like sometimes like I'm not good enough, or
right.
I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. And I told Blue about this, and he was like, you have to just own it.
Yes, girl.
He's like, you're lucky. Yes. You're lucky. Like, look at the position that we're in. Mm-hmm. And he's right. I do have to, I got to get better at that and not comparing myself.
Yeah. No, I own that shit. If people ask me what's your occupation, mm-hmm. I'm like, stay-at-home mom. Ding.
And I have gotten better. Mm-hmm. I feel like, especially since starting the podcast and being open about what it's like being a stay-at-home mom. I've gotten better, but I'm not like 100% there yet.
Yeah. And I think it just takes time. Like, that's just, you know, that's an identity that
it's still a new role for me.
Yeah, it's still new. It's like starting a new job. Like, they say after 90 days, like, you should be, you know, understanding your role. Hell no, it takes a whole solid year to understand the ins and out. Mm-hmm. You know, and Grayson just turned 1 like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I bet once he's 2, you're gonna look back and be like, why was I worrying? Like, why? Because that's what happened with me. I think once Cirilla turned 2, I started to be like, I'm gonna stay home mom. You take off today at work because we're gonna have a family day on a random Wednesday, and then you can. It's just like, it's great. Life is amazing. You know,
it is. So our husbands, at least I know for Blue, he has to work twice as hard, which means we don't get enough quality time together. That's one of our biggest struggles right now, is that we do not spend time together as a couple. It's been a long time because he's just, right now, I don't know if it's like the season that he's working more than usual. Like, I don't know what it is, but I mean, I do know what it is, but it's just, he's working just 24/7, it feels like. And it's been tough on our family. That's for sure.
Yeah. With Abraham, with all these big things that he's doing. So he recently opened up his own business, and which I'm helping him out with his business. And I know he's very grateful with that. Mm-hmm. School. And he is now
taking a lot.
And he's now taking on bigger tasks at work. Like, they want him to start being the leader in certain projects. So he's working twice as hard just to make everything work. So anywhere where I can help out, putting the kids to sleep, doing the extra load of like laundry or something, like, I'm helping him out with like his business, because like
that's nice.
When he talks about his business, you can see like that little twinkle in his eyes.
Aww,
so I'm
love that.
How can I help you, master? Yeah. I'm like, how can I help you? So he's like, do X, Y, and Z for me. I'm like, cool. So so like doing this podcast and like helping him out with his business, and it makes me happy. I'm like, I'm working for someone that is understands I'm a mom, understands I'm a stay-at-home mom, and understands that I do need that personal growth, but that's that structure and that flexibility. So it's nice.
It is.
I can pretty much say I work for my husband and I'm happy. I have no shame in that.
I know. I think you wrote this one, career pause and career gap as a con.
Yeah, for me, I think it is a con because being in the HR world, like I'm gonna have to start over. Like I'm gonna have to start
I
over,
know.
unfortunately.
I know. Me too. I can't. I don't think I could go back to a manager position
after being away for so many
could you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm interviewing for the manager position. No,
it's what, like, what was your career like? Can you explain the gap? I saw on TikTok that you can probably say I cannot discuss the career gap because I signed an NDA, and I'm like, almost kind of want to like say that.
You kind of could, but
you kind of could because like if it goes NDA, like I can't. I signed an NDA. I can't discuss what I've done, but that might just put you down in the lower pool of candidates. But
let me tell you something. I don't think I'll ever go back to like corporate or I want to work, but I think it's going to be from home. I want to create something, and maybe it's this podcast, and XYZ, and then some. You know, that's my ultimate goal. To be honest with you.
Too. Yeah, I'm in the same mindset. I told Abraham I'm not looking to go back to a 9-to-5. I'm looking to start my own business.
Yes.
So if there's something you can think about and that we can do it together, hell yes. The last one is lack of recognition in your role. I think we said we don't have that, but I think other stay-at-home moms do have that because I'm part of a bunch of mom groups.
And me too.
Amount of like
I see it all the time. Even friends.
They don't support me, or even if they're like not a stay-at-home mom and they're a working mom and they don't get the support, I'm like, the hell?
I know. I'm so grateful for my husband, man. Like,
yes.
The amount of times that he tells me, like, you're so amazing. The way you do it all. I love seeing you with Grayson. You're an amazing wife. I could just cry about it. But.
Yeah, Abraham doesn't tell me all the time because he's like, well, that's how I feel. I'm like, but it would be nice to hear it. He's like, but why would I do like, you know your cousin.
I get it.
You know your cousin. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, our new episodes come out every Thursday. Thank you so much for your support. Have a good day. Bye now.
Bye, guys.